Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
So we'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaya Kadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम रामा हरे हरे हरिहराय नमः कृष्णाय यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय गोविंदाय नमः श्री कृष्ण हरि बोल गोपाल हरि बोल राधा रमण गोविंद हरि बोल जय राधा गोविंद राधे जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा पंचतत्वा जय पंचतत्वा जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल. So welcome you all to the level 2 class of Bhagavad Gita. Today we are going to learn about chapter number 9. Okay, that is the Rajaguhya Yoga, the most confidential knowledge about the Lord. Okay. So before we can proceed further, can somebody say what exactly we discussed last week? Any memory about the Goloka chart? Anybody from the audience? Why we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and what happens when we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra?
Hare Krishna Mataji, in Kali Yuga, the only way to survive is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is what has been preached by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So what happens when we are reciting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Mataji?
When we are reciting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I feel we are coming close to the Lord, and it is making me free from all the negativities of life. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Like last class, what we have discussed is how it's going to help us in bhakti. Like if we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, where it is taking us?
Vaikuntha, Mataji, Vaikuntha, Vrindavan.
Yeah, Golokadham. Okay. So what are the different types of rasa by which we, what do you say, do the bhakti to the Lord? Different types of rasa. Okay, I'll ask you like what exactly you have seen in the middle of Golokadham? Who are there in the middle?
Radha Krishna Mataji.
Okay.
Madhuri Rasa, Mataji.
Prem
Very-
Rasa.
Yes.
Sankhya Rasa.
After that, surrounding that?
Vatsalya Rasa, Mataji.
Yes. After that?
Sakhya Rasa, Dasya Rasa, and Santa Rasa.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Very nice. Chalo. So we'll start with today's class. Yeah. The most confidential knowledge. Why it is most confidential, we'll come to know. Okay. See, these are small chapters, but I'll try to explain little bit detail only. Okay. Shri Shri Radha Govind ki Jai. So, yeah. These were the previous 8 chapter where Krishna answers to Arjuna's question, and how to remember Krishna at the time of death is a question asked by Arjuna, for which he is saying it should be a regular continuous practice, only by that you can remember, and only pure devotional service can enable you to remember Lord at the time when you are leaving this material body. And we have taken example of Bhishma Pitamaha and all, and there was a comparison of the material as well as the spiritual worlds, and yeah, supremacy of devotion in attaining the supreme, that is by continuously doing service to Lord Krishna. Okay. So coming to this 9th chapter, these are the contents what we are going to know. Okay, I wanted one devotee volunteer to read this. Anybody?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Synopsis of chapter 9, chapter 8. Ananya Bhakti. In chapter 8, Krishna has explained that an Ananya, unalloyed devotee, surpasses the path of light and darkness. Now Krishna will explain how to become such a devotee. Supremacy of Bhakti. Chapter 8 concludes that Bhakti is the best form of yoga. Chapter 9 supplies the specific knowledge required for performing the most confidential yoga. Chapter 7 and 9 identical. Chapter 7 and chapter 9 are virtually identical. Chapter 8 can be seen as a tangent in the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, clearing up some important points before continuing on. Chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge. Hearing about Krishna qualifications and disqualifications explained. Ashwarya Gnana, Krishna's Achintya Veda relationship with the material world. Non-worshippers and worshippers. Krishna is the supreme object of worship. The glories of directly worshipping Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
To the
So in the
spiritual world,
chapter,
Krishna
yes, Prabhu.
to the glories of directly worshipping Krishna is going to the two spiritual world. Krishna no more birth and death.
Yes, Prabhu. So in chapter 8, Krishna has explained that an Ananya Bhakti will surpass all the path of the light and darkness, and uh, he will go beyond the material manifestation because he is in the Shuddha Sattva Guna. Okay. see the passionate things and the ignorant things will not affect him anymore. Okay, because it is just a Maya which is trying to entrap him. Okay, and Lord Krishna will explain Arjuna how to overcome all those things and um, go towards spiritual realization. And it concludes by saying the bhakti is the best form of yoga. And chapter 9 will tell you the required knowledge, how you can perform this bhakti yoga in a most confidential way. Okay, chapter 7 and 9 are the virtually identical yet, but it is and chapter 8 is a tangent in between the tangent in the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, clearing about some points before continuing on. Okay, so here hearing about Krishna, what are the qualifications and what are the disqualifications? Sometimes we think that we are doing bhakti towards Krishna. It is the either way around. He chooses like who has to be his devotee, and he will give the required knowledge for them and the jignasa to do the bhakti. Okay, and at the same time, what do you say? Aishwarya, Jnana, Krishna, Chintya, Bheda, and the appearances of the Lord and non-worshippers and worshippers. Yes, basically here he will categorize into the devotees as well as the devotees who are not worshipping Krishna, okay, who are taking the help of a demigods, who are taking help of other means, and non-believers, all those people will come, okay. So once you are you wanted to progress in the bhakti, the required things is that do the Krishna bhakti, have a devotee association, follow all the rules and regulations and all, okay. At the same time, what are the disqualification is that not willing to know about Krishna and hears about Krishna, and so totally what is required to be followed if you're not following any of them. Okay. So what would be the fate of the people or destiny of the people who are worshipping Krishna and who are not worshipping Krishna? Because he is the ultimate source. He is like a milk, from which all the milk product comes. Like all the demigods and everything you take, it will emanate from the Krishna. So what are you doing or what are you getting once you are taking shelter of the demigods? So that we will come to know. So the Krishna devotees and the demigod devotees and the other people who are taking shelter of the different categories. So what will be their ultimate destination? We will come to know. So these are the sections. The first is hearing about Krishna, qualifications and disqualification. Next is Aishwarya Jnana, Krishna, Chintya Bheda, and relationship with the material world. Next is the non-worshippers and the worshippers, just I told you. And knowing that Krishna is the supreme object of the worship. The last. So, first qualification is you should never be envious about Krishna, because he is the one who gives us the required knowledge from within to know about him. So, and he's the only one who can make us progress in the bhakti and free us from this material world of birth and death. Yeah. Prabhu, please read now. Hare Krishna, kindly recite the sloka, Prabhu.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshami anasuyai Gnana Vignanam Saitam Yajna Tvamakshase Suvat. And
The Supreme Lord. Yes, Prabhu, please continue. It is pleasure read.
The Supreme Lord said, my dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most secret wisdom, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, first thing is that envious, the main qualification between Duryodhana as well as the Pandavas, Duryodhana was envious of Krishna, okay, and whereas the Pandavas were very, very pleased to be in his association. So that is the first and foremost quality which has allowed him to, to be on his devotee side, okay. So there the Lord will be willing to extend a helping hand to help his devotees. So Krishna imparts the most confidential knowledge to the person who are not envious to him. And because it will give them the more clarity to the a devotee who is willing to take up this Krishna consciousness and wanted to do further bhakti and progress into this, then automatically the roadmap goes towards reading the Bhagavad Gita, being inquisitive about Bhagavad Gita, wanted to read more about Bhagavad Gita, wanted to know more about the Krishna Bhakti, and your inquisitiveness to do the service also increases. Okay, so that is first factor which will attract towards Krishna Bhakti. So then once we are reading the chapters and all, then we'll have a knowledge about the soul, the body, and what is the ultimate purpose of our life to come here and all. Okay, so the more we do the bhakti, we are doing the karma and Krishna consciousness, we will come to know what are the permanent things, what are the temporary things, and what are the things which are most important, and prioritizing that work, like doing the bhakti is ultimate thing and all, okay, than the other things. And so once we know that this is the only thing by which we can be liberated, so we will cut short our bondages with all the material as well as the material world, with other worldly things which are we were clinging on. Okay, so once automatically we are progressing in the bhakti, these things will go away. How I can say you is that I always give this example of immunity versus disease. So if your body immunity is good enough, automatically if any kind of virus or bacteria, anything which wanted to come and attack you, it cannot do anything to you because your immunity is very strong. Similarly, if your bhakti is very strong, so these worldly distractions or the material modes of manifestation will never try to disturb you. Okay, so that will not come on your way, and it will help you to progress further in the bhakti. So inquisitiveness, non-envious towards Krishna, and taking shelter of the Krishna, these are the first thing which is the qualification of the devotee by which he will impart us the required knowledge. Okay, and the opposite things are the one which will not allow us to know about the Lord, because people who are envious, their eyes are blindfolded with the material things. They can never know about Krishna. Okay, so now here Lord Krishna is imparting the most confidential knowledge and realization to Arjuna. So as I told you, he should be free from he should not be envious of Lord Krishna, and he should be in a proper mood to receive it. And if you can see in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna will say, I am totally clueless. Now I don't have any idea like how to go about with that. If you can please tell me how we can proceed further, I am totally surrendered on to you. Please guide me, Krishna. So likewise, that total surrender onto the Lord should be there. So, and that is the only thing which can bring out the relief from the material existence. So this is the most confidential knowledge, that is the Raja Vidya, the king of education. Yeah. So Navada Bhakti, these are the 9 types of devotion service by which one can get connected to the Lord, and these are the different examples. This slide has been shown in a previous class also, but again here we have this type, a different example. I think one devotee volunteer can read it again. Hare Krishna. Any one of you. Shravanam is the first and foremost thing by which we can connect to the God, and continuously listening to the Bhagavad Puranas, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam will ultimately take you to the higher planets. Then Kirtanam, doing the Kirtan in a group association, Smaranam, remembering the Lord by doing the chanting and remembering the Lordship's pictures while doing the chanting, and Pada Sevanam, doing the Lakshmi Seva, And Archunam, that is Maharaja Prutu, will continuously, he is a great devotee of the Lord, and he was doing service to the Lord. And Akrura is example of Vandanam, and Dasyam is the Hanuman, Sakhyam is again the Sudama, and Atmanivedanam is again the Bali Maharaj. Okay, so any type of service, not necessarily all you have to do, any one service you can take, and you can what do you say, render your service by which you can progress further in the bhakti. Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can you please recite this sloka?
9.2.
Yes, yes.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pradekshavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumabhyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perfection of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So it is, it is the highest of all, and by doing this, when you know about the Lord, then there is no other, what do you say, anything further to know about him, because you're totally engaging in his service by 9 types of devotion service, then automatically you are sure to reach the Goloka Dham. So further glorification of the most confidential knowledge, that is, sorry. Rajaguhya Yogam, the most confidential knowledge, and it is the king of all knowledge because it is the essence of all doctrines and philosophy explained before. So this talks about the external activities of the soul and gives the positive information. See, ultimately, the external physical body will disintegrate once you leave this material body, and the subtle body will take up all the the positive as well as the negative credits, and it will undergo the different type of punishments, what it has to do when it is in that particular soul and all. Okay, and ultimately the soul is the one which will go back to the super soul. So it has to go back in a purified form. So what exactly is the one which is feeding your soul is most important thing. So that is, having the knowledge about the Lord is the only one which will feed your soul. Okay. So purifying potency of the devotional service is very strong, and it's the purest form of all activities. These are the various stages of reaction which is shown when once we don't have a knowledge about the Lord, then we will try to react in a different way. Lust, greed, anger. We will be engaged in all these material manifestations, and we will try to react. We don't respond. So we have to shift from react to respond. Only responding will come once you have a knowledge about the Lord. Otherwise, we will end up suffering in this material world. So when you are reading the scriptures about the Lord, you will know the what is right and what is wrong, and slowly, once we are going deeper into the subject, having a devotee association, doing the upacharas, we will come to know, this is right, this is not wrong, and we will try to relate to our previous situations, what we have done in our life, and we'll try to rectify that if something is wrong, and we'll try to correct ourselves to move further in this. But if you don't have any knowledge, we will always think that we are right most of the time, and our ego will not allow us. So the more we are reading the Prabhupada books, the more we are enlightened from within, and God will give us the required knowledge by which we can move further. Okay. So here the sinful reaction has 4 stages. One is in the seed stage, one is in sprouting budding stage, and one has reached to a stage of a tree, and another one has come to the stage of a fructation. So many times when we see, this person will commit so many mistakes and all, but still he's not been punished for his acts. So some people, even if they do a single thing, they'll be punished for that. And some people, different stages. Why? Again, the whatever the wrong things what they have done, it has to fructify. Once it is there in the seed stage, you will not get the punishment. The time has to come when that seed has to fructify, and when it come to fruition, then only the effective actions of that. Similarly, for the good thing also, as you sow the seed, it will take some time for it to reap the results. So we don't have to waste our time in these, why it's happening this to me, why somebody is not suffering, why I'm only suffering, why I'm happy, why other person. So all these things, the comparisons or whatever it is in the journey of this spiritual knowledge, we should not waste our time on all those things. Once we are putting our efforts, having a fixed time for the sadhana, automatically we'll get answers to most of the questions what we have in our mind. The only thing is that we need to put in effort to do the sadhana and read the Srila Prabhupada books. Okay. So why we have to do this? Once we have a knowledge about the, no matter what, to which clan we belong to, what type of varna we belong to, so no matter how many sinful reactions what we have done in the past, by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and following the all four regulative principles, it will slowly allow us to get purified. Okay. And it will take us beyond station and help us to grow further in the bhakti. So no matter once past, whatever it may be, but once they have realized they have done something wrong and they want to correct themselves, so they should take up this path of bhakti. Automatically, this will clear all the past sin. So one such example is sage Ratnakara. So Ratnakara was a hunter, and he was in total tamoguna, but once Narad Muni has given him a upadesha, then he has become sage Valmiki and he has written Ramayana. So no matter what, but once you have taken the decision to do the sadhana in this and take the shelter of the spiritual master and do the sadhana by following the four regulative principles, chanting and doing all the upachara, ultimately you will progress further in the bhakti. And no matter what you have done in the past, ultimately all these things will get reduced. So further glorification of the most confidential knowledge, that is pratyaga savaganam, that is direct perception of self by realization. So how to get the direct perception of the self? By having an association of an advanced devotee, because they are like seniors, once you get into the college or school, you will have seniors who will guide you because they have already studied the course, they have completed it, and they are in the next level. So those people will help us and guide us, what is right for us and how we can go ahead. Okay, so that is very much required for us to have a all devotee association, that is the senior devotee association. By chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra without any offense, that is no inattentive chanting, one feels transcendental pleasure and get purified quickly. Also, if one further helps in the mission, one takes spiritual progress. So advancement is irrespective of previous education or qualification. Once you have decided to progress on this bhakti, Krishna will ultimately provide you the required environment and required support to progress further in the bhakti. So further glorification of the most confidential knowledge is Hare Krishna. You will know about the perfection of religion and you'll feel blissful all the time, and it is all everlasting because you have known the medicine how to feed your soul. That is doing the service towards the Lord. So once you are known that, then you're all everlasting blissful. So those who are not faithful in the path of devotional service cannot attain me. So the first and foremost thing is that not envious, serious to know about the Lord, inquisitive to know about the Lord. And once they have taken the path, and then Krishna will always give them the required knowledge by which they can progress further in the bhakti. Okay. But after taking this also, you have to take a shelter of a guru and be in a devotee association, which will help you to progress further in the bhakti. Okay. So after that, if you're not sticking on, it's not like something like we have completed an exam, now we can finish off and what I say, we are free from all the it's nothing like we have attained certain stage and now we are free. Okay. It is like a continuous sadhana because Maya will be so powerful. It is always with you. You have to keep your practices very, very stringent and strong so that you will not engulfed or sucked in any of this other modes of material manifestation like the ignorance and the passionate ones. Okay. So otherwise, there is a high chance of fall down again. So it is all required to have a strong devotee association. Yes, Prabhu, you can read the sloka.
Pasadana Purusa Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mamni Vartanti Mrityu Sansara Vartmana.
Hare Krishna.
Those who are not
Yeah. Yeah, faithless cannot attain Krishna because simply by this is an analogy given here, like if you're watering the root, then only your tree will be flourishing with all the green leaves and all, isn't it? Similarly, you have to water your soul by doing all the upachara, as I told you in my previous slide, doing all the four regulative principles and strictly practicing the chanting of the rounds and doing the service towards the Krishna. Okay, so it is possible by having all devotee association because they will tell you where exactly we are. They can assess you and they can help you with a smaller achievable steps, which will help you to achieve the further progress. Okay. So no good faith and knowledge of scriptures easily fall down through the engaged in devotional service. They cannot achieve highest perfection stage coming to Krishna consciousness. So if you're not consistent in your practices, then you will fall down. Okay. It is something like anything, any work, what we do, the routine work as a student, if you're not consistent in your practices, you will fall down in your exam. As a athlete, if you're not consistent in your practices, you will not be achieving your goal. As a worker, you are not consistent in your work, what you are doing, you will fall down. Similarly, devotional service also, it's not like something you got into this and it is once for all. You have to be consistent in your efforts to get further progress in that. Otherwise, there is high chance that you will fall down. Like we have an example of Ajamila. He being a great Brahmana, once he was in a forest for some work and he get attracted to a prostitute and there will be a fall down. He will not remember the Lord for his lifetime except at the time of death. That too, he was remembering his child, Narayana. So the fall down is such a thing, once lifetime will go away that they will not be able to retrieve what they have achieved in the past life. So the firm faith, but not very advanced in devotion scripture, simply trying to follow by association of the devotees. So if we have a devotee association regularly, we'll follow the Srimad Bhagavatam scripture. We will read some or the other scripture every day, or otherwise something they will say about the Krishna. So I wanted one or two volunteers from this to tell me. Say, suppose if you're meeting a devotee, okay, what will be your conversation with them? And what will be a conversation if you're meeting any of your non-devotee friend? Hare Krishna. Any one of you can volunteer and say?
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I didn't follow the question. Once more, please, ma'am.
Say, suppose if you're meeting two friends today, okay? One is a devotee friend, okay? And another is a non-devotee friend. What will be your conversation? First, start with a non-devotee friend. You have come from office, Prabhu. somebody is coming and greeting you, hello, how are you, Prabhu, and all. So if he is a non-devotee, he or she is a non-devotee, what will be the conversation between both of you?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, if I'm meeting a devotee, then I'll ask, how can I advance further? And if I'm making a mistake, then how can I fix it with Krishna consciousness? And on the other hand, if I'm meeting a normal friend who is not a devotee, there is highly a chance that I would talk about materialistic things and some non-important, something not related to Krishna. So that is what I would do, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Say, suppose
Hare
if you're meeting one of
Hare
them.
Krishna
Yes.
Mataji, can I try?
Yes, ma, please share.
Yeah, if I'm meeting a devotee friend, first I'll wish Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, and how's yours going on, and I'll discuss about how the classes are you attending, and how many rounds your sadhana is going on, and about the Siksha Guru, what is the taught today in the class. And now I have fall down, so I have to see some Krishna related, something she'll be giving a suggestion like that, videos related to Krishna. If I meet a non-devotee friend, then conversation will be hi, how is your life going on? How your children and how your family, your life partner is going on, and business deals you were discussing. So the profit now the budget have come, all the rights have come. So such type of discussions will be going on between non-devotee friends. If I fall down
Yes.
here, then how to improve my rounds like that.
Not necessarily, but you will get deviated, Instead, you would have chanted one round. Say, suppose if a devotee friend, say, normally, if we meet one non-devotee friend, they will say, Arey yaar, what happened? What money? How much money you have? Did you invest in that stocks, or did you take any extra gold, or invested in any of the land and the materialist things? So, what is that you're earning so much, but you're not? They will never say donate some money to the temple and all, isn't it? And how much progress
Exactly.
you're making, and how is that? So nowadays I don't see you in the yoga class, or you're not coming to the gym and all. So all this routine stuff will be there, isn't it? But the moment you see a devotee, and say suppose if they're senior devotees, they Hare Krishna, how are you? So it looks very dear to someone, they are very, and they'll be greeting you not like Hare Krishna. Okay, isn't it? With heartful, they will greet you. At the same time, they say, how are you doing, Prabhu or Mataji? And how many rounds you are doing? Are you able to attend this? And how about your diet pattern? And how is everything? Yeah, are you facing any difficulty in doing the Krishna Bhakti and all? Are you reading any book and all? So these sort of questions will come. And they will share their own experiences of doing the bhakti and all, and they will say, Gaur Purnima is upcoming, you have a Gaur Purnima, so you wanted to come as a temple volunteer, you wanted to engage yourself in any of the service and all. So those will be the questions. So it's all about Krishna, isn't it? So totally, which is feeding your soul. So that is the difference between a materialistic as well as the devotee friend. So ultimately, once we have this conversation, somewhere in the subtle mind, it will get stored, and it will eat away certain amount of a time from our daily routine. So instead, we should invest that time in doing the chanting or some other sadhana for the Krishna, but not having this mundane conversation. So this is the next one. Krishna pervades, creates, and annihilates the entire cosmos through his material energy. Although Krishna is the supreme director, the material world nevertheless moves independently. Krishna thus remains neutral and detached, because he is the one who creates, who maintains, and annihilates. And he also gives us the required knowledge to progress further. And if we are not progressing further also, he will say, okay, you stay back here. Abhi aapka time nahi aaya. Okay. मया तातमिदं सर्वं जगत् अव्यक्तमूर्तिनामस्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेषु avastita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I'm not in them. Okay, and yet everything that is created does not rest in me. It is something like we have seen in 7th chapter, like a pearls which are hung onto the thread, but you can't see the thread. But one factor which is connecting everyone. although I am the maintainer of all living entities and although I'm everywhere, I still myself is the very source of the creation. So as the mighty wind blowing everywhere, always rest in ethereal space, knowing that the same manner all beings rest on me. So again, it's the same example of the pearl necklace, all living entities, whatever the creation of the Lord, which includes so even the non-living things also. What you're seeing entirely within the universe and all created with the Lord. But the Lord is protecting each and every entity, whether it's a river or a mountain or a bird or an animal or a human. But our energy or our capacity to see him is limited. We cannot see all those things, but he's the one who is creating all these things and he's maintaining, and he knows whom to award and whom to reward and whom he should withdraw back and whom to punish and all. So everything simultaneously he'll be doing it. Everything rests upon Krishna. Everything that is created will rest on him, and still he is not involved or connected to all these things, because distantly he'll be noticing everything, and nothing contaminates him, because he's only the source. Once he has created the source, it is I can say you like a computer, the virus attack. The software is installed, but sometimes it get attacked with the virus. Likewise, once you're attacked with the material manifestations, it is very difficult to overcome that. So likewise, it is required for us to remain in a very blissful state to stay away from all these things. Stress. O son of Kunti, at the end of millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennia, and by my potency, I create them again. Okay, see, as I told you, the day of Brahma, all living entities are created, but the end of Brahma, everything will go into the annihilation. So, in turn, the Brahma is created by the Lord, and he is the one who is maintaining all these things. Oh, Dhananjaya, that means, oh, Arjuna, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached, seated as a neutral. So everything is manifesting through him, but I am not affected by any of this. So material world is inferior energy of the Lord. Discussion on Lord Krishna's relationship in creation and destruction. So how Krishna's creation refutes in a modern concept of evolution. Okay, so in the modern day life, there is a gradual evolution of species from one to another, beginning from the creation. So in Krishna's creation, all species of life are created immediately along with the universe at the beginning of the creation. So nowadays we think like we have invented these and all, but somebody says I have invented this rocket, now we have landed in a moon, or I have the scientists say I have reinvented these things and all. But where is already the material is available in the universe, with that resources only you are combining or you are rephrasing it into something very new and you're presenting it to the universe. It is not like something you're creating on your own. Okay, whether it's a metal, whether it's a node, whether it's a energy or space or whatever it is, the living and non-living entities which are existing in the universe is again the Supreme Lord is the ultimate owner of that. So we cannot take credit of the thing which we haven't done because the raw material is of the Lord Krishna. Okay. So what is truth is that all the living species are created. Similarly, the non-material things are also created at the very beginning. And everybody is on different avatars or different yoni based on the past karma and all. And somebody is born as a fish because of the past karma, somebody is as a turtle, somebody as a human, somebody is a tree. It's upon the past karma. Okay. So how the material world is maintained as if Krishna as Parmeshwara is aloof. Okay. He is there everywhere, whatever we are seeing or enjoying in this material life is because of our manifestation in 3 different modes. We are in a Sattva Guna, we'll be having a devotee association, following 4 regulative principles, doing a Krishna sadhana, and ultimately our purpose is to go to Golokadha. But if we are again people of materialistic people, we will acquire the wealth, we will acquire all the resources which are not required for life, and we will waste our life unnecessarily. So it's again, the Krishna will be there, he has created us and the soul is there in everyone. But it is our individual capacity by which we can get back their intelligence. So depending on their sadhana, if we are involving in the things which are not allowing us to go in a Shuddha Bhakti, then we cannot know him by any means. Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you please recite this sloka?
मया दक्षिणा प्रकृतिः सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते. This material nature is working on my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and non-moving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So as I told you, because he is the creator, he is the maintainer, and he is the annihilator. So whatever you take material as well as the non-material things which are existing in the universe, everything he is the ultimate Adipati, and by his rule only the manifestation is again created or annihilated by his wish and will. So we have a next set of people who are non-worshippers, who never worship God, and yeah, so they have their own philosophy to say about this. Fools who think Krishna is an ordinary human being. Many people, they say, you're Krishna who has so many wives and always like he's known for his Rasa Leela and he has come in a human form. He's there in Vrindavan. So many people, you are the fools, who don't know about the Lord will speak about him. And they don't know the actual saransh of this particular what do you say, the rasa by which we connect to the God. And they have different meanings and different, what do you say, explanations for whatever we say in this sadhana. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
9.11 अवजानन्ति मां मूढा मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावं अजानन्तो मम भूतमहेश्वरम्. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. So many people, they say, no, he was born here and all his difficulties. He has so many gopis, he has so many wives and all those things. And only people who are blind towards the bhakti of Krishna, they will speak about all because he don't have a knowledge about the Lord. So these people, they never read Bhagavad Gita. They don't have a knowledge about the Lord. What to speak of them? Okay, they will speak such foolish things about the Lord. Jananti, understanding, knowing about the Krishna in truth, leading to liberation. That is the Krishna devotees. Ajananti, ignorance of the Lord, continue in the cycle of birth and death. They say he's a similarly, if you take example of Duryodhana, what he thinks is you're always before the war, the Kauravas and Pandavas, they'll be having a conversation and they will say, Duryodhana don't want Krishna on his side because he's blind towards the Lord. Because if Lord is there, everything is there. But he's full of ignorance as well as in a passionate mode. So such people cannot see him. Okay, and they will fall down in the trap of the birth and death. So Avajanan are the people, Avajananti are the people, misunderstanding about Krishna will lead to the increased bondages. They have a lot of bondage towards as all the material in manifestation. They are attached to the house, they are attached to the car, they are attached to the children, they are attached to all relationships in the world, and they will have the suffering. Yes, Prabhu.
9.2 मोघासा मघ कर्माणो मघ ज्ञाना विचेतसः राक्षसीम् आसुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः. Those who are thus bewildered by are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In their deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So atheists have their own view about the Lord and all, and they will fall down. They are not attached to any of these things, and ultimately they will fall into the cycle of birth and death. Okay. The fate of Duratma is that they are attracted with the demonic and ascetic views, and there is no chance of them getting liberated. Here we have an example of a Hiranyakashipu who was constantly troubling Prahlad Maharaj. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Mahatmanastu mam patha devim prakrutimasritaha bhajanti ananya manaso natva bhutadim abhyayam usam sanaprita. Those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The pure devotee, he will not fall for all this because he has a knowledge of the Lord and he is protected by the Lord, because Lord is also very, very protective about his devotees, because only very few people, also out of thousands of men, only one or two will know about me. So he is also protective about them not to fall down, and they will give him the full protection what they want. Okay. So similarly, they will keep them away from not getting contaminated in the material world. Yes, Prabhu.
Satatam kitayanto mam yatantascha dridha vrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya itya yukta upasati. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So, by making Krishna as a priority, we can see Srila Prabhupada is chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in the Nagar Sankirtana. So, likewise, we'll be going forward with a great determination and bowing down before the deity and having a all great association of a different soul. And we will try to continue by worshiping the God with utmost devotion. Okay. So we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue with the rest. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hope it is clear.
Yes,
Now, any
Mataji.
doubts? Any
Clear.
doubts? Okay. So we'll resume tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, co-host and participants, for active participation. See you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji.